The story of Geometry Dash's strangest level. Let's watch.
It's late 2015. The Geometry Dash community.
That's around when I joined. I joined late 2015, December 2015 to be exact, because Geometry Dash Meltdown came out. Anyway, I'm already interrupting. Let me shut up.
Finally gets to experience the 2.0 update in all of its glory.
W.
A ton of new features and
W update. I love update 2.0. Just because that's when I joined, though. Low-key nostalgia baiting, but whatever.
mechanics given for people to experiment with, to further expand the game's capabilities and enjoyment. History has been made for the community. Some think nothing could go wrong from here.
Nothing.
This, however, was not originally the case, as there was a bit of a problem brewing for players. You see, most people around this time incorrectly used the newly provided triggers and mechanics for their levels.
Yeah, if you played any early 2.0 levels, you know if there was a move trigger, it's GG's. The blocks, you just be going, all of a sudden a block, like, just immediately move up like 50 blocks in 1 millisecond. People didn't know how to make their movements smooth yet.
Resulting in an overabundance of hate comments across many early 2.0 levels, complaining about unsight-readable gameplay and faulty 2.0 trigger usage.
Yeah, look at these movements,
This
bro.
shouldn't have been too much of an issue, since many players sought to improve their work as it was still very early in the 2.0 update. But others would take these comments too personally, to such an extent that they'd purposefully escalate the situation to a much higher degree. This is especially the case for a certain individual named GD Virus, who over the course of nearly a decade had become a controversial figure for creating what might be one of Geometry Dash's strangest levels in history. Amongst the hundreds of millions of levels
Man, I'm so curious. Is this Battle of the Shades? It might be. I think it might be, because this level is like such a weird history. If it is, I'm excited for this.
published, no other level has ever been altered in such a way that even involved the game's developer, RobTop, to make a change when things started getting out of control. This is the story of Geometry Dash's strangest level, Battle of the Shades.
Yep, here we go. Battle of the Shades. This level is so bizarre. It has like multiple renditions that are now known as phases. He'll explain though. This level's weird.
Prior to the release of Battle of the
Wait, hold on. Wait, what the heck? Yo, the creator of the video literally just joined the chat. Wrongway98 with the $10. Yo, let's go. He's actually here in the chat right now. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Yeah, go give some love to Wrongway98. Yo.
Shades, Virus had uploaded
Anyway, phase 1.
a few early 2.0 levels, such as Stereo Troll and Vanishing Clubstep, both of which utilized the move or alpha trigger throughout the level. 3 weeks after releasing Vanishing Clubstep on October 19th of 2015, he would release his first serious project, Pits of Hell, with this having been his first rated level. A great achievement for sure, but on its initial release, players critiqued Virus's awkward gameplay and decoration, resulting
What is this comment? I never knew hell had armpits. Is he saying that this level is the armpit of hell? That's like how people be talking about New Jersey.
in Virus to be enraged and snap back at a few commenters. However, while there were some heated exchanges, Virus did end up revamping Pits of Hell to how it currently stands today. A bit better than it previously was, but it nonetheless still had its flaws. Eventually, he would move on from this level and start working on what is the main focal point of this video, Battle of the Shades. A
Oh boy.
relatively creative 2.0 black and white level, with some estimating it to be around easy to medium demon difficulty. Released on October 31st of 2015, it would be known as the first of multiple phases on this level, and
Yep.
as the calm before the storm. It would gain some attraction after a few popular figures such as Carmel, Michigan, and more showcased Battle of the Shades on their channels, and it would actually be rated not too long after the level's release. Normally, this would be a positive breakthrough to get Virus's name out to the community.
Looks like a fine level. What's so strange? You're gonna see that very soon, because this is just phase 1. This is when the level was normal. This level, he updated the level multiple times and kept making it get weirder. You're gonna see that.
But his public image started to deteriorate once he browsed through the level's comments.
People are so mean, bro. I honestly think GD Virus shouldn't create anymore. How rude.
While a sizable chunk of the community liked his creation, others would rather give constructive criticism or leave negative comments in its entirety. This would leave Virus in a defensive state where he'd stop acknowledging his supporters and again lash out at more players who commented negatively on his work, further taking these comments way too personally. He continued to self-inflict more controversy towards himself by further publicizing his insecurities, until eventually he had reached his breaking point.
Uh-oh.
It was clear that Virus could not handle these comments very well. He had expressed his frustrations in a way that absolutely wasn't healthy, and just like with Pits of Hell, he took action into his own hands by revamping Battle of the Shades, like a creator would normally do to improve. However, instead of remodeling his work, he would take the extremism approach and change
Yeah, extremism approach is right.
Battle of the Shades in a way that no one would have ever expected.
Phase 2!
In mid to late 2017, Virus had updated Battle of the Shades by completely changing the decoration, and the gameplay, and the song.
Bro, this looks like a liminal space. This is creepy.
It was no longer the Battle of the Shades that everyone once knew, but it at least started off colorfully, I guess. It wouldn't last long though, and it'd take an unexpected turn into something ominous and uneasy, with this version of Battle of the Shades estimated to be around medium to hard demon difficulty. Not much
Bro, this dude made like the OG peaceful.
difference to how difficult it was to the original. Phase 2 of this level was directed to call out to the haters by quoting, "No more hate for a sizable..."
Oh my god, this is scary, bro. This looks like some schizophrenic type thing. What the heck?
Portion of it. This hellish switch-up would only further escalate the situation, with it supposedly going completely unnoticed by RobTop to not take action towards the level or creator, meaning it remained rated for the time being. This was a big problem.
Yeah, that's what was weird about this level. Even though he like completely updated it, which generally RobTop doesn't like when creators do, RobTop just like never saw it for some reason. So these phases all just flew by on this rated demon.
Since it's unknown whether or not RobTop would ever want to rate a level like this, let alone it not being the creation that gave it a star rating in the first place. And while it wasn't at all Virus's fault for it staying rated, it was clear that Virus was not in a good mindset to deal with the backlash, especially after removing everything he had previously and passionately made, which is honestly kind of sad to see, since quite a decent amount of
I hope somebody archived phase 1.
players who played the original level gave admiration. But while there isn't much else to add on to this section of the story, Battle of the Shades would reach its peak in infamy during the next phase of its history.
Phase 3. I remember when this happened.
It should be noted that prior to Battle of the Shades' third phase, Virus enjoyed making extreme demon to impossible level layouts for YouTube, all of which have since been unlisted. And about 2 months after releasing phase 2 of the level, Virus would once again update Battle of the Shades, only this would be the most controversial period of this level's history, as a result of him changing and supposedly hacking the level to a top 20 layout at the time. Now, layouts as hard as this weren't anything new back then, but to have a level that was controversial, likely hacked, and still rated despite all of the red flags had many questioning RobTop's moderation towards the community.
Yeah.
In the midst of it all, Virus would publicly state that he was in the process of making a fourth phase to Battle of the Shades, with some
Yeah, dude, I think I remember when this happened. Because this level, for some reason, was just, like, so popular back then. Because it kept getting updated, and people were like, what is going on? What's next? Why is it not getting unrated? It's like, this was kind of like an infamous level back then.
players speculating that he may be finding some sort of enjoyment regarding the backlash. Ideally, people wouldn't want to publicize their motives or intentions if it was meant to be a negative outcome. So it was an odd switch up, to say the least. Eventually, many channels started voicing their opinions about the level's controversy,
Yeah.
bad gameplay, and history. Most notably, C1997's my new least favorite Geometry
Yeah,
Dash.
this is how I found out about it, bro, because C1997 was like my favorite Geometry Dash YouTuber back in the day. If you know, you know. And when he made this video, I remember watching this. He was not fond of this. He also hated on Exasperation, but that one I disagreed with. I liked Exasperation for some reason, even despite the interesting song.
Level video back on January 23rd of 2018. In it, C would voice his frustrations about RobTop and Virus's actions towards the level. C, being a popular figure in the early GD community, asked those watching to dislike the level, but to not send hate towards Virus. But unsurprisingly, the internet did what the internet was best at doing.
People are just so hateful. Hashtag unrape before phase 4. Like, that's such a specific hateful hashtag. Oh my gosh.
And sent an overwhelming amount of hate towards him, causing Virus to melt down in a public post and cancel his plans of finishing Battle of the Shades' 4th phase.
Dang.
There were a few community members that found the level's history thus far to be interesting despite its infamy, as some loved that he was treating the level as a sort of series. But it didn't seem that Virus was coming back, as understandably there was little to no activity from him for almost a year. But towards the end of 2018, a few top players would try to beat this phase of Battle of the Shades, with Wushi999 dying at 98% on December 20th of 2018, and Metamans becoming the first victor on December 25th of that year.
Wait, so I think, was it still rated at this point? Because I can't remember if it ever got unrated or not.
Which definitely brought a spark to the level's relevancy.
It was!
And even though Virus said he was canceling Phase 4, Virus had unexpectedly gained the motivation he needed to finish it off. It's unclear what exactly made him crawl back to Battle of the Shades, let alone Geometry Dash as a whole. Perhaps he didn't want to leave his supporters curious as to what was coming next, or it was a result of something private. Regardless, Virus was back to the level editor, where he would organize something interesting for Battle of the Shades almost a year later.
Phase 4!
Entering the 4th phase comes with a roller coaster of adjustments and controversy, as Virus had once again updated Battle of the Shades on January of 2018, announcing that it was a layout of a future creator contest he wanted to host for the level. Many YouTubers would showcase Phase 4, and a surprising amount of the community favored this phase over the last one. They collectively agreed that it looked more fun to play, and gameplay-wise wasn't as outlandish despite it being much harder than what it was before. Virus set the ground rules to his creator contest by simply having the best decoration of the layout being the official version of Phase 4. The winner of the contest was a creator named RealVet, and he—
Bro! Where do I know this guy from? He's made some other popular Mega Collab parts. I think he has a part in like Abyss of Darkness and stuff like that, if I remember correctly. He'll probably tell us.
Start working on getting more of the level decorated. Virus would then update Battle of the Shades' 4th phase by extending the beginning of the level, followed by a secret pathway that reveals a message saying, "I see you found my little secret." Fun fact for C, Phase 3 wasn't hacked. He won't believe it anyway though. Here's the secret way. This showed that Virus was still dealing with some backlash from C1997's fanbase, but was no longer in an isolated and vacant state. Surprisingly, he would give a response regarding the entire situation with C and his followers by commenting, "It doesn't matter if the level becomes good. People will still hate for no good reason. This is why I quit the game. C is fine, he had a reason to hate. His fanbase is the problem."
Yep, it's like that a lot of times.
Following the Phase 4 update, Virus wanted the secret pathway to be impossible to pass through. However, the route itself was unintentionally possible, which led to the inevitable day on March 29th of 2019, where RobTop would demote Battle of the Shades' star rating after putting it to the side.
It got unrated. Unfortunate. I wonder if it ever got re-rated. I don't think it did actually, but we'll find out.
For so long. Unfortunately, this also led to the decline of Battle of the Shades' relevancy. The official decorator, RealVet, unfortunately didn't finish the full level due to it being piled on top of a bunch of other projects he had been working on, which left Battle of the Shades as an unfinished project that is a shell of what it once was. Though its star rating was deducted, it didn't really matter that much to Virus, as he had already quit the game after Phase 4 was released, and primarily focused on programming his own games, and normally that would be the ending to this level's history, because of it being unfinished and rewardingly insignificant. However, Virus had unexpectedly decided to update Battle of the Shades one more time, and the level is oddly mesmerizing and wholesome.
Wait, there's a Phase 5? I didn't know there was a Phase 5!
Dormant for roughly 4 years, Battle of the Shades' fifth and possibly last phase comes across as the most interesting end result of Virus's Geometry Dash legacy, as he had been working on his personal long-awaited achievement of programming his first game, Fabric of Reality. As I mentioned in the last phase, he had been working on programming his own games for years, and knowing that he had finally released his finished product is very wholesome. Virus, or should I say Jester as his new name, updated the level, allowing the community to know that his game was now released on Steam, in which a few community members tried playing, and reviews were mostly positive. The level was filled with pixelated color effects that were mesmerizing to view, and it might just be my favorite song choice that he had ever used throughout Battle of the Shades' history. It is thought to be impossible, or at least incomprehensibly difficult, for any person to realistically beat, which didn't really matter that much anymore since it's not rated, so no harm, no foul. Interestingly, the well-known YouTuber, Ludwig, would try Jester's game out for a section.
Ludwig? The heck? Yo, the GD Virus made it, bro. He made it out of the Battle of the Shades, bro. He's a new man.
YouTube video reviewing games that had wanted to sponsor him, but said no. And Ludwig was actually having fun, even placing the game at an A tier, which is amazing for it being a demo at the time. Jester was in disbelief about the recognition, even saying, "I still haven't fully registered that Ludwig actually played it." Right now, Fabric of Reality stands at a very positive 94% review rating, and I'm happy to see what Virus/Jester had become years later.
Bro, this is like the good ending. This is awesome.
But there is one more thing to mention that affects the entire Battle of the Shades lore.
One more?
On April 17th of 2022, a member in his Discord server would bring up how harsh the Battle of the Shades drama was from years ago. Virus would comment how—
No, I agree, bro. It was so unnecessary. Like, people were really arguing over the guy updating his level. Oh my gosh. Jeez Louise.
He actually found the entire situation hilarious, even acknowledging that community members genuinely thought he was going insane.
Wait, that's funny. So the whole thing where you said no more hate with the fire, like that schizophrenic creepy thing, bro, he said it was a joke all along. This dude was playing everybody, bro. This dude actually trolled the community.
While in actuality, he really enjoyed the attention. So after all this time, all of the back and forths, all of the changes, and all of the crash shouts he went through, Virus had vigorously and successfully rage baited the community.
That's crazy.
On January 17th of 2025, a player named Kernati, I think that's how you say it, would officially beat Battle of the Shades' fourth phase, spending 47,000 attempts, including the extended beginning section of the level. Virus would see this and congratulate Kernati for this achievement, where he remains as the pinned comment today. And I didn't mention this before, but Battle of the Shades underwent many other updates that were only poems or messages Virus wanted to publish. But most of these messages weren't really recoverable, besides a couple poems. But in the end, Battle of the Shades is truly one of the most interesting yet strangest levels ever published in Geometry Dash history. And if you all want to check out Virus's game, Fabric of Reality—
Yeah, that's fire, bro. He made a whole game. I wonder what else he's gonna make. That's cool. And W video by Wrongway98. Go give him some love and give him a sub, like all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, Vortrox 2.